What's the closest thing you know to real magic?
Whoa.
Black magic.
Duas?
Fruit.
What is happening?
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, see, not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
I'm going to hell.
You guys took the religious route. No.
Why are you going to hell?
No,
I'm
that
going.
was.
Yeah,
He
black
said
magic.
black magic.
What's the closest?
Have you seen Black Magic?
What was the
At
question?
least that's like.
I said, what's the closest thing you know to real magic?
I said black magic.
Okay, but at least it's like that's real. Like, you know.
Whoa, Amber, relax.
Yeah, but like you don't know it, but like you know it exists, right? Like.
That was not what I intended when I asked
What
the
did you
question.
think?
I was like, what's like really
Like
like
love
a magical
or
thing?
something?
I said fruit, right?
Why is that?
Yeah, you
Because-
should have answered first, because we're over here being too real.
Because if you think about it, like fruit,
Is magical?
it's like, for example, think about how like there's so many fruits that have this like enclosing, like what's it called?
Skin.
Like a sealant.
okay,
to
like a cover,
protect-
like
a cover, right?
Exterior
A skin, guys.
Like-
skin, like
I mean, if you-
pineapple.
Pineapples, oranges,
Oranges.
bananas,
And then-
like anything.
Exterior.
And then like think about a pomegranate, right?
And
like
the interior.
like how do you think about like this thing
Yeah.
when they first found a pomegranate, right?
Yeah.
There's this thing that they open and it has little seeds in it, and you can actually eat the seeds, and then like it
Yeah.
tastes good and it's like nutritious.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. And if
Yeah.
you want to take the religious route with that, like you got to say that like God's the greatest engineer of all time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like
Yeah.
engineering fruit, flowers, things like that have this like
Creator.
sort of ecosystem behind
Yeah.
how they work
Right.
and how animals even know that like if I open this
Yeah.
like nut, for example.
Yo, dude, it's no nut.
but I know. No, but you know what I mean? Like the scratch from Ice Age, like he knows that there's something in there that he's trying to open.
Okay.
So
yeah. I feel like if I went on this like thought process that you were on, I'd pick you. Because, you know, you're like F-boy exterior, soft boy
Whoa.
inside. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm magic. Yeah,
you're magic.
Magic boys,
Well,
shut up.
Dower said this thing the other week, and he was like, whoa, cast your spells about making dua. Like, you know how like sometimes you'll like do a little
yeah.
prayer on like water or whatever. And so since then, I've like made all my friends hip of every time I get in the car, they go,
Yeah.
cast your spells.
That's a joke that my siblings and I will say to my mom, because whenever we're doing something or we're like leaving the house or something, you'll just hear her start going, and she's like reading like prayers,
Duas, yeah.
right? But we're like, Mom, can you cast a spell on us real quick? And that's what we'll say. And then like, you know how like a lot of people in our culture, I don't know if other people do this as well, but like they'll, after they make the prayer, they'll like blow
Yeah.
on you
Yeah.
to like seal it.
And sometimes they have bad breath, and it's like, no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But it's like can you give me the protection layer, which is like
Yeah.
the blowing part,
Yeah, the
which is
blowing
funny. But yeah,
So that's why I said duas. I didn't mean it in a... Please,
It was a good answer.
Please let me go to heaven, God.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
But what would you expect us to answer?
I don't know.
I
just-
mean,
Okay.
I think along the lines of like
Fruit?
something that just is like defying like normal.
I just read the question. That's the first thing
Yeah.
I thought of, was just like fruit.
Okay.
Like it's so magical.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us on an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shimmer,
I'm Faras.
My name is Amber.
and this is brought to you by Alif Theory. You can find us on anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and we're even on YouTube where you
Oh,
can watch us
snap.
visually.
Okay.
And then if you want to send us your music or any cool stories, we're on there on strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com. And we're also all over social media, Instagram, Twitter,
Everywhere.
Facebook.
At
and
Strange Flavors.
At Strange Flavors.
And we're back, baby.
Yeah, we're back. The boys are back.
We're
And
always-
girl.
I'm one of the boys.
Herself, she loves saying I'm one of the boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sorry we've been gone for a minute. We always say that we're back.
Yeah, and then we
uh,
leave for like 2 months, and then we come
yeah.
back again.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening.
It's just been hectic, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll tell you all about it in this podcast.
Well, we told you last time that we had my sister and our close friend Saad, both of their weddings going on, and since they're Pakistani weddings,
They take a year and a half.
Yeah.
they take a lot of planning and a lot of days dedicated to it, a lot of time coordinating things, because especially when you're the closest to the bride or groom, you're not just attending the wedding, but there's a lot of things that you have to take care of and prepare for, and to make it go, all smooth and everything. And today we're doing a Q&A where I think like that's one of the number one questions that a lot of people kept asking about the wedding. So I think we should just kind of get that out of the way and talk about the wedding. So most recently, my sister got married.
Woo! Go
And
ahead.
it was
Non. Is that their ship name?
ship name? Oh, like the
Nehal
hashtag type
Non,
thing?
yeah.
Non.
Wait, how do you feel about it
unofficially? Well,
being your
how I feel
sister?
about it, I know what you're gonna say,
I'm not saying anything for us.
but no, like I think for anybody listening who hasn't attended one before or has been part of the immediate family or like group of friends that has to do this, like I can tell you that like you just cannot prepare for what is gonna happen. There's a lot of like
emotionally, physically.
everything
Okay.
because you say that like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep it like more conservative and like, you know, we'll try to budget ourselves and everything, but you can forget about all of that because you are gonna spend everything that you've ever made on this day. And you know what, like it's weird because you want, like, especially my sister and her husband, like they wanted something that was like more sort of intimate and everything like that, and they wanted to save more money, but it's also that you have to accommodate for everybody, like the community and everything, that everybody that they're close to, and both of them are like really like kind of forward leaders in their communities and everything, so there's a lot of people that wanted to do things for them, and they wanted all to be attending their wedding. So then you have to like, you know, invite them all, and then you have to get these bigger places, and you have to make sure that they're all feel you know, loved and cared for and all that. So that's why it ends up being a lot.
There's also like a standard set there too for like, okay, you have to have, you know, a backdrop, the decorations, this and that, and then you guys also come from an artistic family.
That's
so
the biggest thing.
So I feel like that would play a big role into it to like actually make it look nice and not just have like random stuff. It would.
I mean, I'm the like my family's the wedding business like murderers though, because like everybody that wants to do things, we're like, oh no, we'll go ahead and take care of that, and we'll do it better. Because like from designing the cards to like editing the videos and doing all the concepts behind it and decorations and everything, like it's not just that like we would be saving money or anything, because it would have been a lot easier to spend the money than take the time, but we, like everybody in our family like really has that sort of standard that it's just like it has to look this way because that's how they want it to go.
Neha got her religious part of her marriage done earlier this year, and Faras edited the video for it, and oh my god, it was so beautiful. Like, and that's the thing is like,
coming to theaters.
I can't see like another like wedding company that doesn't find this thing personal to them to like do it the way that you did it. Like, you did an amazing job at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, it was very interesting seeing such a creative family put together a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did it, because if I saw someone else do it, it wouldn't be as special.
Yeah, for sure.
And like the fact that you did it, it's like something that she will remember like, forever.
Yeah. The other thing of that is like, nobody knows you as close as I think like your siblings might. And I know what she would like, and I know like, for example, her angles and things like that, where a lot of wedding photographers or like videographers, they'll be like, they'll do anything for sort of the cut or something, and they won't take the time to like make something look good and make the people in it look their best, and you know, just capture those moments that will be special to the family and all that. And it's funny because since then, like, I've had way too many people in my DMs like, hey, so like our wedding video was made terribly, if you could just like fix it out for me. I'm just like, listen, I need a break.
Throw him that paycheck and make that
Some
money.
guy during the Mandy was like, did you shoot this? Because I was carrying around a camera. I was like, no, I wish.
This is strictly for the vlog.
And for the guy that shot it, John, he did all the cinematography for it, and he did a good job. The only thing he didn't get was like the sort of mid sort of like he got like the wider shots and the tight shots, but like I kind of wanted the mid ones. But otherwise, it was shot really well, and he's really excited about it because this is like his coolest project that he's ever had. So he's like posting it everywhere. But yeah, other than that, like I think you have to be ready to make a lot of sacrifices, and there's a lot of like fighting that goes on, and it's all like out of love and care for the people that it's about, and everybody wants to do things for you, and sometimes you don't want to necessarily take all of that on, and it's just a lot. But I'm like, me and my entire family, we're just so like thankful and humbled for, especially you guys, the bridesmaids and bridesmen who like really stepped up, and it wouldn't have been possible without you guys and all of your help. And you know, I think it's really special that everyone initially, like especially I think on Alman's side, was like, that's a lot of people like to have on your as your like your bride gang or whatever, bride tribe. And then realizing afterwards, they were like I realize why every single one of them is so special and close to you. And it's
Their
because
family
of
was
your
so
love and
welcoming
everything.
to us too. Like honestly, the fact that you guys let us even play such a big role in it meant so much. Like that we could actually be a part of the day how we did. I've been a part of weddings. I've been a bridesmaid many times, and I've been a part of them where I've had to do everything till the day of, and then on the day of they're like, step back, it's the cousin's turn, and I'm like, hold on, I haven't seen this cousin in the 13 years I've known you. Hold up. But like you guys really made us feel a part of the family.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
you guys are all our family. You're always like at our house, and like my parents, like they all know you guys, and like, you know, think of you as children as well. And during my speech, I was also mentioning that, like, you know, I don't feel like Dawa and I are the only siblings. It really truly feels like we're all siblings, like kind of doing this for our sister, and that's how it's always felt. And it's always like pretty much my whole family like is in Pakistan, so we don't really have a lot of family here. We have like, you know, 3 cousins here, and so you guys like are family, and that's what's important. Who's always been closest, who's always been there for you, and all of that, and you know, you guys have always been that, and I cried.
Yeah,
that's what you wanted to say. So
can I just say that I don't even want to bug you about that. Like, as much as I would love to clown you, I absolutely can't, because that was one of the cutest things I have ever seen in my life. Like, that was like such a like that's, you have the biggest pass for that.
Yeah.
Because you kept it
no,
so
it's not
strong.
a pass. There's no pass anything.
You got a pass because
like you're allowed to cry.
No, Dawar cried every day. Okay, Dawar cried every day, and me and Dawar cried every day. Like, that's like our thing. We're emotional. You're not emotional. Okay.
I am emotional. I just don't.
You don't show your emotion, okay? Like, as much. In the way that we express our emotion, you don't express your emotion. You do it through a very wordy, artistic way, which is you, okay? And then on the Neha, okay, so during the Rukhsati, it's the time that everybody walks the bride to her exit to go
You're
off with the
giving her
groom.
away to the other person's, the groom's family.
Yeah.
She's officially not going to come back to your house.
Right. And so
like,
in that
there.
moment, everybody's, you know, crying, whatever, and Dawar's crying, the mom's crying, the dad's crying, and Faras goes to give Neha a hug, and he breaks down, like, I mean, scream cry, like, I mean,
That's
what Neha described it as, but you were like you were out loud crying, like I could hear you crying, not like you had tears rolling down, you were like, you know?
Yeah. No, I've never been against crying. I've never said that, like, yo, like, men don't cry or anything. That moment right there was like, I'm not afraid to express how I'm feeling, and I didn't know how I was going to feel at that moment, and I didn't realize that it was going to be so overwhelming and so just like all of a sudden, because we had been like so caught up in preparing for it and everything, and like, you know, preparing for our dances and making sure that this was right and that was right and all of that, and then at that moment realizing like, whoa, this person who has been there my entire life, literally, like, we've been sleeping in the same room since probably like middle school or something, and then after that she was right next door, and like, she has literally just guided me my whole life. She's like, without her I would not be who I am, have any sort of confidence, have like any of the, she gave me, you know, my first job, my first ever performance gig, like, name it, you know. And so this person who has literally been that for me is now no longer going to be living in my house anymore, and it was not about like, you know, being scared or any of that. It was just like, I'm going to miss this person, and that's all that was. Like, I was so
I feel like I could tell that too. Like, everything you're saying, I could tell from that moment. Like, like, it's exactly that. And I was like, afterwards you turned around and I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna go give Faras a hug, like, he needs a hug. So I go up to him and he like has a big smile and he goes, I didn't cry. like in a crying voice, like eyes red. I didn't cry.
Yeah,
I'm
he was like
not
wiping his tears,
crying.
like, it's not me. I did that.
I'm not crying.
Because everyone else has been crying the whole weekend,
Right.
right? And nobody's like going up to them and being like, "Hey, it's okay,
Yeah.
whatever." But for some reason, everybody was coming up to me. I'm
I
like,
know.
"Guys, like, I'm
Because we've
fine,
never
I'm happy."
seen it. We've
I've
never
never, ever seen
during
it
the
like-
speeches. I was like crying because like Dower's speech was, and he like turned around after Dower's speech and he just bawled out.
Yeah.
So then like I kind of ran out of my tear ducts after Dower, right? And so I was like, so when the Rooks of Thieves was happening,
But when the dad speech happened.
Dad's speech happened, I cried too, and then like
Oh man.
my tear ducts were just gone, right? Because I cried so much. And then Neha was leaving, and I was like feeling it, you know, but I
Yeah.
wasn't crying,
Yeah.
right? Dower was crying when he hugged her. Your dad was crying. I was feeling it. Then when I saw you cry, I was just like, bruh. And then
tears come back.
my eyes just went whoosh. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I've never seen this. I was like, oh my. And then Saad goes, yo, it's okay, bro. It's
Literally,
okay,
I
bro.
was
Yeah,
so
all the uncles kept
annoyed.
coming up to me and they were like, "It's okay, she's going to a good home." I was like, "I know,
No.
I
Yeah,
know
I know.
that." Like, Alman, like, alhamdulillah, like, I'm so happy that this is like more than we could have ever imagined, but also like she's so deserving of the type of household she's going into, and you guys are witnesses of that. But
Yeah. It's like, yo, calm down. Like,
Literally, I was
let him
like, I
enjoy
had
the
to go to
moment.
South after. I was like, leave him alone. Like, stop telling him it's gonna. He knows this, but
Yeah.
let him have the moment.
Yeah.
He's like, no, like I was trying to be like, you know, like it's okay, and I was like, he knows.
He knows.
He be alright.
no, and again, like, I think I'm all for men, especially being and they see men on top of that being able to express themselves. Like, I don't want to be an example of like, yo, like this guy. Like, some people kept describing me as like, yeah, like he's a strong guy that like, you know, never cries. I don't want those two to be correlated, because that's not what it's about. It's just, this is the way that I happen to be, that like, you know, I've been through funerals. I've like buried my own best friend before, and like for some reason, like it's been a cold experience for me. That right there, like the moment that I hugged my sister, it was just like, yeah, like it was like a relief. I felt relieved that I was crying.
Yeah.
It was like, let the rain pour. That's what
Yeah.
it was. So yeah, thank you everybody online who has like been keeping up and like has such great and thoughtful words and
Yeah.
and prayers for the new couple. So we're really happy, and now we have to do it all again at Saad's wedding
Right.
at the end of this
So we
month.
need to see the same energy, guys.
Bro.
So yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to the Q&A portion, but before that I wanted to share this message with you guys real quick. So I don't really share this stuff on social media a lot, but there was somebody who I posted like a few months, or I think maybe a year ago or something, and she had sent me a message that said that like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that like I have cancer and I've
damn.
lost all my hair, and watching your guys' videos and listening to your music is what keeps me like motivated, and it keeps me laughing and all of that.
That's crazy.
And it keeps me inspired. And I just received a snap from her 2 days ago, and it's a picture of her, and it says, "Hi, I'm not sure if you remember or not, but around a year ago I messaged you telling you how I had cancer and your videos were keeping me going, and that when my hair grew back, I wanted to be just like yours." And she did say that. She's like,
Whoa.
she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna keep watching your stuff, and when I'm gonna grow my hair back and it's gonna look like yours," like saying it to me.
Aw.
That's awesome.
And she said, "Ta-da, you've been my hair inspo during my hair regrowth." And she sent a picture with her, and she has hair
Aw.
that kind of like looks like
It
mine.
does look like yours.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, I just
What's
thought that was like
well,
super. Well,
shout out
we didn't
you.
want to.
Shout out
We didn't want
you.
to share her name or anything.
Oh, it does
Yeah.
look like yours.
But
That's awesome.
it's just that's what
happy for
really
you.
like keeps us going, and it's
Yeah.
so awesome to see that you're like that you would share something so personal, and yeah, that just means a lot. So sending you you know, prayers for good health
Thoughts
and
and love.
continued good health. Let's go on to the Q&A, and I guess we'll just take turns. You guys can
Q&A. All right.
we can take turns reading them. They're all on the
Great.
notes. Do
Okay.
you want to start, Amber?
Sure.
Some of them I think have like two.
Oh, I see it. The Joker
Parts.
movie. Awesome. That's all I need to say.
other-
Awesome.
okay, yeah. Someone said, I guess talk about the Joker movie.
I'm just going to say it's awesome. Just watch it.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
I didn't watch it as per usual.
I don't think you'll like it, so don't watch
Yeah.
it. All right.
I would say watch it by yourself, or maybe if you have like
You watch it by
more,
yourself. Or
like
like
cooler friends that aren't
cooler
gonna.
friends.
I'm saying because I was watching it with like my cousins, and like we were hoping for a
Like action.
like an
and,
action funny movie and stuff, and you know it was still a good movie. It's like a incredible movie, but yeah, I would say
artsy films. People that enjoy like.
Yeah,
art.
for sure. Also, I was just gonna say real quick, I watched Zombieland recently.
Yeah.
And it's funny how like sometimes you go into a movie and you might like the movie, but you don't like the people that like that movie. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's me.
That
with
goes
the
with
Avengers.
music or anything.
Like-
like we walked into Zombieland.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what Zombieland is, it's like
A comedy zombie movie.
yeah, and it's really like a lot of the people that show up are like those very corny sort of.
Yeah, they like clap after somebody says something, or they're like, yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, like they're like semi-racist a little bit. Like, they probably say like the N-word like
Yeah,
to each
to-
other
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot, and then they like they
Definitely.
probably wear like skater clothes, but they don't skate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
That's the type of people that watch Zombieland.
I also feel like that's your area too.
That's true.
That could be part of
That
it.
could be no, but other movies it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
happen like that. But I'm like, as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, it's gonna be this type of an audience.
Okay.
And it's like that for certain things, like for music, for example. I hate Eminem fans,
Oh yeah, it's like Mountain Dew, Doritos, like.
and like, yeah, it's just the
They
fans
wear the
are sometimes
monster
cringy.
shirts. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just something funny I
Well,
noticed.
okay, I don't want to steer off, but speaking of that, Drake got booed off stage by Tyler the Creator fans. And if you guys don't know, I'm part of that demographic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge, like, everybody on that festival is like somebody I listen to.
Okay.
Camp Flognaw.
Camp
right?
Flognaw. Like that's like my epitome of what I listen to in terms of music. But I was so disappointed when that group booed off Drake.
Why did
It's the
why
same
did they
thing,
boo
right?
him
Like
off?
that's
Yeah.
the type of people that listen to him.
Yeah.
They were expecting Frank Ocean,
Frank Ocean.
Okay.
and Drake is a little bit too mainstream for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Tyler fans want like these indie type artists.
Yeah.
They don't want Drake. Like they're everything that Drake does, they're against. And what's funny is like Tyler is a fan of Drake, and
Yeah.
he knows that he makes good music. It's just
And he thought, he was like, hey guys, like this is his festival. Like this is Tyler's festival.
Right.
Like he made it. So he was like, I thought it would be awesome to bring out the biggest artist in the world for my fans. And that's what he was trying to do for his fans.
Right.
But his fans were booing off Drake.
I think Drake shouldn't have done that.
What? Go on stage?
Actually, before the videos even came out of him getting booed, I think like there was some pages like Complex that were updating everybody of, oh look, Drake has now came up on stage, right? So they were like updating you live, and as soon as I saw that Drake is at Camp Flognaw, I was like, why? Because it's such like a small sort of niche festival, and I was like, is he trying to be? At first, I was like, is this like a business move? Is he trying to be cool with like the the indie sort of fans? But then I saw that, I was like, I'm not surprised at all. I understand.
But
that.
like, dude, he's so big. Like,
yeah, he's a global icon.
Okay, even if I hated an artist, right? Let's say I hated him. He's so big, I'd be like, okay, let me appreciate this. Like, Tyler's fans are very like, I guess I want to say quote unquote artistic. I'm not gonna overgeneralize, but like they like art, you know. And Drake, even though he's mainstream, he still like produces.
He still
art.
makes both.
Yeah, he makes both.
There's something for everybody.
And like, even if you're big, I would appreciate that he came here for free. Like his tickets on like just Drake concerts, probably like the nosebleeds at the top of the stadium, probably probably are more expensive than the whole festival. So
yeah.
and you're getting that for free.
And I think that Travis Scott was having his festival at the same time.
Oh yeah, and he brought out Kanye.
Astroworld, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there could have been talks between him and Drake about that too. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you should like come out, whatever. But Drake went to Camp Flognaw.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just
Can
saying.
you
like,
say the
Drake
name
could
of
have
it
gone-
like slowly?
It's
Flognaw.
Golf Wang scrambled.
Whoa.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
All of that Wolfgang, Golf Wang.
Oh, I didn't.
What's Golf
Well, I knew
Wang?
Golf Wang.
Flognaw.
I knew that, but Flognaw I didn't know. Oh, dang.
So their official group name
crazy.
is Odd Future Wolfgang Kill Them All. So from
Wait,
that they
hold
shortened-
on. This
like-
is beyond my understanding. This is going way
Yeah,
over my
I don't think we
head.
should go that far.
Hold on.
people that know, but
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
pretty much their group, and then they scramble the words around and make them different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. Anyways,
Flognog.
Flognaw.
Flognaw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Who is the coolest white dude in the gang?
Okay, and Max is asking this question.
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about Max? Like
Max
as a
came
whole-
to the wedding.
Max is if you guys know Saad's getting married. He used to be Saad's roommate, and he ended up-
No. He used to be Saad's tenant.
Saad's tenant. Saad was his landlord.
Yeah, Saad's landlord.
And he used to, live with him whenever he ended up moving away, but he was connected with all of us on social media. He came through for the wedding. And it was interesting because Max, and also there was another friend of ours whose boyfriend came, and the two of them, and he was black. So we had this white dude and this black dude who were like not really up to speed on all this. So it was very interesting to have them ask questions about things that I've never questioned before about brown
Like
weddings.
what?
Like they were like, for example, they were like, why are we standing here when the groom people are coming here? Like what is this part? Isn't there an entrance upstairs? I was like, well, they're entering to this hall is supposed to represent the girl's house. So they're bringing this to the girl's house. And it made me think about like the tradition and root of all of it, which I've never thought about before.
Yeah.
And another thing was there's a tradition where all of the sisters of the bride, and since Neha didn't have any, it was all of our bridesmaids, that go to the groom and offer him milk, but he has to pay for the milk.
Yeah.
And they were like, what are you guys doing? Like why are you guys trying to get him to, first of all, Nesquik? Why are you guys making him pay like hundreds of dollars for Nesquik?
Yeah.
It was a modernized version.
It was.
Traditionally, it's like goat milk.
Right,
And
right,
they don't
right.
want to drink it.
Right.
But then when they find out that like they actually get to keep the money, they were like, oh, okay, like let's go back and forth and try to get this money.
Right. So then we were explaining that it's just like a little like game for the siblings, for them to have fun, da-da-da. And I found myself explaining these like deep details to all of them. They're like, okay, well, why is there 3 days? And I had to explain like how one is together, one is from the bride, and one's from the groom. Now today's they're coming as a couple, and all of that stuff. So it's very cool having people. Even in the bride tribe, there was 2 girls. What are their ethnicities? Cami and Kati?
Oh, they're like
One's South American.
One's
Yeah.
Colombian,
Italian,
one's I think Puerto Rican. Well, her husband's
okay.
Italian, so
Yeah. So they're just like different cultures, and having to like kind of break it down to them was a very interesting
Yeah.
experience, I think, for us to like
Yeah.
go back and actually understand the reason
I was
why.
like so used to like this wedding culture and everything that I didn't know like the reasons why, and I
Yeah.
never had to like explain it to somebody. So when they would ask me, I'm like, oh, I don't know, we just like
be
do
like,
it.
as for us.
I was like, I don't know, we just do it.
So then it was funny because Kaylin, she's one of the bridesmaids, and she's black. She used to be one of the roommates of Neha during college. She also is like very into brown culture though, and so she didn't have that many questions. She's like, it makes a lot more sense when I imagine this taking place in Pakistan. And she's like, so I understand more of it because I'm imagining this all going down over there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It's really cool that they appreciate the weddings more than anybody. That
For
like
sure.
the non-Desi or Muslim people, they really enjoyed it a lot, and that was
Oh,
really cool to see that
Yeah.
that they wanted
Dude,
to be more of
when I
those.
went to South Africa, it was like a half brown, half like regular wedding, and
Regular.
so it wasn't as like lit as a full brown wedding, right?
Right.
And we had our Hispanic friend with us, and he was like, "Dude, this is amazing! Like, you guys have so much fun, and you guys aren't even drinking." And I'm like, "Dude, this is even like half of it, bro.
Yeah.
Go to a real brown wedding, and you'll be crazier."
Yeah.
There's we always have henna, like, growing up as like brown girls, Eids, weddings, everything. Henna's normal to us. One of the bridesmaids was so happy, like for weeks had been like looking up her henna pictures, deciding
Cammy?
on it. Yeah, she was so incredibly happy, and it
She
was
went up
like,
to my dad and she was like, "Can you adopt me, please?" My dad was like, "Sure."
like it was so cool to see them. Like it made me more excited to even put Mandy on too. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
true.
team
like,
tatted.
Yeah.
I wanted to get Mandy too.
Yeah, you guys should have.
Yeah.
You guys should have gotten Bride Tribe.
We'll
You
get
guys
him.
had
We'll get him for your wedding. All the guys
Let's
will do it. We'll
heart,
have a Mandy
heart
party
mom
for
matching tramp stamps,
Yeah.
all of it.
all of that. But to answer Max's question, the coolest white dude in the gang is Amber.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank
Amber
you.
is whiter than Max. Facts.
Yo,
Max is
don't
barely,
try to ruin my street cred like that.
Max
That
Max
is
is
so
barely white.
disrespectful.
Max is like Spanish. She's like
Yeah, he's
Pakistani. He's like everything.
Hold on, you think I'm white?
I think you're whiter than Max. You don't even pronounce things correctly.
Okay, but is
At
that
least Max
white or
does.
is that
Yeah, at
non-brown?
least he does. You pronounce your name as Amber. It's supposed to be Umber.
Okay, but that could hold on. that could be like that. That's a white and black man. What you mean? Hold on. I'm a little concerned over here.
We're just answering questions, Amber.
Yeah, come on.
I'm
They're for
really
us.
hurt.
Majority rules.
That was.
Okay.
There was
Guys,
a
I just want to say that I don't think I'm that white at all. I would
that
rather,
white.
I would identify more with the black people that I hang out with because I don't have any
That's
white
even
friends.
more cringy.
I know it's cringy to say, but I don't have any white friends.
You have no white friends?
I have 2 white friends.
Why? Are you racist?
Yeah, what the heck?
I just don't get along with white people as I mean.
Why? 'Cause you're
I'm sorry.
racist?
Not that I don't get along. I just don't have as many things in common with white people as much as
Okay.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Can we go on to the next question, please?
Yeah. Exposed.
Well, there was actually this question that relates with that. This was actually a DM from Nashida.
Ruh-roh.
She said, quick question. In pack, dulhan ya dulhe ke bhai, behen and relatives same outfit kyun pehante hain? Which means, why does the bride or groom's relatives or friends wear the same outfits as them?
Because you're representing.
And it's lit. Why not?
Well, I told her it's as an honor. That's why they're called bridesmaids and groomsmen. It shows unity among those closest to the couple.
Such a
the rest of the
Faras
guests,
answer.
well, it's
I'm over
true.
here like
But
because
then-
we're all a gang.
gang.
But then the next part, she goes on to say, bridesmaids and groomsmen is an American concept, especially for Christian weddings. It's their culture, which then is
have
adopted by
dos.
various cultures, but I don't understand why Pakistanis follow it. It's your choice. I am well aware of it, but since Islamic weddings do not run this concept, I asked why you guys, we don't do it here. But pretty much, I think she's from India.
Okay.
She said
So-
why we don't do it here, but pretty much everyone in Pakistan does. American and British, basically, I meant the white concept.
There's a huge like I've had this conversation many times in the last few years. The only Islamic part about a wedding is a nikah.
Right. There's no such thing as
Everything
an
else-
Islamic wedding.
There's an Islamic reception and it's sunnah like in similar to the way of the Prophet to have a walima, which is basically a celebration after the nikah, which is the religious ceremony to bind the couple.
Marriage contract.
But none of that is
The
like required.
mendi, the shadi, the mayu, the dolkis. Any country that you go to has their own wedding traditions. We have
Yeah.
very similar traditions to Indian culture because we were all a part of India at one point. So
Right. So it says
We
so
have
those aren't
South
even
Asian-
Pakistani concepts. They're
they're not Pakistani
technically like,
context.
and a lot of those traditions are Hindu traditions actually.
Absolutely. But they're not even Hindu traditions. They're South Asian traditions. And we were all kind of around.
Yeah.
We all have those things. For example, if you go to like an African wedding, whether they're Christian, an African Christian wedding is going to look very different from an American Christian wedding. That being said, we do have bridesmaids in Pakistan, and they're called dosts.
Well, no, it's simply that we're not attached to one particular culture. Culture is adapted and it's shared, and especially because we have lived in America all our lives, we are American. We are also
Yeah.
Pakistani. We have our own identity called Pakistani Americans, where we, yes, take parts of our culture from back home and we take parts of our culture from here because that's who we are. So we adapt both cultures together, and it's actually really nice and it's cool to see weddings where there's a mix of cultures and traditions, because all our lives, going to our friends' weddings and stuff, we have been bridesmaids and and groomsmen or whatever. And so that is our culture. We're part of both things. So it's not to say like, oh, it's their culture, or it's
Or
our
it's
culture,
un-Islamic,
whatever.
or it's Islamic. It's
Right.
It's
These are all
weddings
celebrations.
Celebrations are cultural,
And
not
different people,
religious.
and different people celebrate things in different ways, and that's all it is. It's celebrations. It's not about the religion.
We
because
took care of the religious part.
had been done.
Yeah. Bars.
Yeah. You want to read the next question?
That was,
in
oh
the Q&A?
shit.
Oh, go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. Current music recommendations.
I've been listening to a lot of R&B.
Okay.
I don't know why.
That's
just-
cool. Don't listen to Drake.
You want to give an
Sorry.
artist recommendation? Anything?
Ooh.
Doja Cat just came out with a
Oh
new
my
album.
god,
maybe?
Doja Cat's album's so good.
Yeah.
Really?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I still like Juicy on it, and the others I thought were okay.
Juicy,
but-
juicy.
Cyber
Um,
Sex is really good.
Okay,
Whoa,
Amber.
Amber, come on.
Just-
Dude, what the heck?
I'm talking about the
Dude,
song.
this is a religious podcast. Calm down.
a religious podcast.
Yeah, it's her material sometimes is like a little much.
It is, but it's like
Yeah, like I'll
My-
sing along and then I'm like, wait, I'm saying this? Oh crap. But it's
a
so
little,
good.
it's a little much.
Queen Naija. Queen Naija. Yeah, her. She has good music.
You guys listen to Jadena at all?
No.
he
back
has a
in the
new
day.
he has a new album that's like it's like comes from a lot of like his African roots.
Okay.
I think he's Nigerian, and so it has a really cool like flavor to it that I haven't sort of heard, and it is like a mix of a few different
Send that
music
playlist
styles.
over.
Nice.
That album, and I would say Wale has a pretty good new album, but nobody will pay attention to it because for some reason nobody likes Wale. You know what's funny about Wale is that so many people say that like men are like the rappers are like so, you know, they're all misogynist, and they all like, including J. Cole, like he might be a great lyricist, but he's, you know, talking about women in this way or whatever. Wale from the jump has been talking about women in the best way. Like he praises women in his songs, and like the way he talks about them, he's just like he literally has a song called Black Girl Magic, and he's always empowering black women and black people in general. He's like, he has a song where he's like, sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Like that's his song. But for some reason people are ignoring Wale.
I don't know what it is. I feel like he just doesn't have that, like, you know how like people want to root for somebody for maybe like no reason. Like I feel like a lot of people were like that for Chance at one time. Like even though he's great, he just had that thing that
people
like,
don't like that Wale is like very full of himself.
Yeah.
And
But-
I don't care. Like,
but also he's
he
not
can back
like,
it up.
I feel like his personality, like he doesn't really show his personality on like outside of his music a lot. Maybe he does, I don't know. But I feel like,
But we don't know about it.
I mean, I've been following him for a while, so I see it. He's very,
but like mainstream doesn't see that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it makes him the way he is, though. Like he has a huge ego, but like he's never on those like top 50 rappers of all time.
yeah.
None of that, and he has to like root for himself because nobody else will.
Exactly.
And so it makes him that way, and he comes on these interviews like the Breakfast Club, like nobody invites him. He just shows up. He's like, why is nobody talking about me?
And
And that's why people hate him, and they're like, Wale, he's washed, he's this, that. But
It's
I'll
because
tell
he's
you
not
straight up,
problematic enough.
he's one of the
Yeah.
greatest lyricists that hip hop has ever seen. He is one of the, like, if you listen to what he says, if you read what his poetry, it is amazing. I can give you songs right now that will change your life
Oh,
by
okay.
Wale. I'm serious. Like,
All right.
like girls don't know, and you'll feel so like empowered. You'll be like, dang, like this is real.
I want to see Amber.
For example,
She's like, well,
for example,
I
listen
didn't-
listen to a song called "Ambitious Girl,"
Okay.
where it's everything opposite of what typically hip hop is. Where he's saying like, I don't want just any girl. I want a girl who's follows her dreams and is ambitious about success and business and things like that.
Right.
Like it's beautiful the way he does it. But hey,
Wow.
don't listen to me.
Also, Summer Walker. Have you guys? I'm sure you guys have seen her.
I've
cover.
seen her everywhere.
Is that Girls Need
I just-
Love, girl?
I just haven't listened to her yet.
Yes.
I just need some blank.
It's the one with the pink album cover, and she's
Yeah.
like,
I just haven't listened to her yet. But
She's good.
I've heard a
she's
lot.
London
of
on the
good-
Tracks girl,
Okay.
and he produced the whole album.
London on the track. the
I hate
the
myself.
United Kingdom
I've
on the
heard-
track.
I've heard a lot of like anxiety and stuff going along with her name.
So she has like extreme social anxiety, and so putting this whole album out was like so difficult for her.
Okay.
And she like openly talks about it basically.
Okay.
Like she went on stage to accept an award, and she was like, thank you, London on the track, and I just really appreciate you guys for your support. Thank you, bye, and like walked off stage. It was like very innocent. She's
I think that's gonna be more and more common.
Yeah, and I heard she canceled a
That's
tour or like a bunch of shows because of her social anxiety. But I don't know.
But her album's really good too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of artists, did you see Harry Styles? He didn't mention Zayn.
He threw a little shot at
He threw a
Zayn.
little shot
What
at
do you
Zayn.
mean?
I thought it was a playful
What do you mean he
shot, but
didn't?
I think it was.
yeah.
But at first I thought, I was like, whoa. Okay,
He gave a shout out. Go ahead.
so he was playing the piano, right? And he was doing like a monologue on SNL. And so he shouted out everyone like Neil, Liam.
From One Direction.
From One
Right.
Direction. And then at the end, you're like expecting Zayn. And he was like, and he said Ringo. And then I think Ringo is like a joke because Ringo was the first person to leave the Beatles. But people were like, oh, he didn't even mention Zayn's name. And like Zayn was getting a lot of racism and Islamophobia when he was in One Direction. And like, why aren't you supporting him? You know, and stuff. It
That's
was like
weird.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, what does that have to
that
do
was a
with
weird
anything?
thing.
I think it's SNL, and like that was.
Yeah.
That's-
That's all I
that
saw.
was on-
I think there was some sort of like some personal
Saltiness.
shot
Yeah.
in there as well, but for
But
the
I-
most part, it's SNL.
Yeah.
That's
Man's
kind
is
of on
successful,
brand.
like-
It's on brand.
Yeah. But
for
honestly,
SNL.
I was like, kind of hurt at first because being a Zayn stan, I was like, yo, why didn't you mention my man Zayn?
A zaddy.
Yeah, but and then after reading like the comments and stuff and seeing the other side, I was like, okay, maybe it was lighthearted. And I was just becoming a Harry Styles fan too. Like I'm liking his new stuff. So
I like them both. I like Zayn and Harry, and
I mean, he's a good singer. I just didn't like his solo stuff before.
Who?
Harry.
yeah, it's kind of boring.
Yeah, but I like the new stuff. Like this new stuff he's putting out. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about his music. I
Oh.
just have a man crush on him.
He acted in a movie, and he was
Yeah.
pretty good. So, and he's like good looking. So, mashallah.
I think he'll pull a Justin Timberlake one day. Zayn will, and be like, "Yo, guys, let's
No,
sing some."
Zayn is not social enough for that.
To what?
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
maybe not.
Yeah, like I feel like everyone else could.
Yeah,
but not
because
Zayn.
you know Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, all these people, they were like breakout stars.
Yeah,
Zayn is like, I need to be in my room alone
Yeah.
because this is too much pressure for
with
me.
not alone with Gigi, but yeah.
Okay, next question. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. These are all more marriage ones. Okay, it says one person. What is this? One person in the relationship going to study straight after getting married. Shouldn't spending time with each other be priority, especially with our culture? It's difficult to have a relationship. Okay, so they're saying that one person. So in our culture, they're saying that sometimes.
Wait, continues.
right
or
after-
get married with free will.
Huh?
She continued and said, or
Oh, sorry. So to have a relationship or get married with free will. So they're saying in our culture, sometimes what happens is that people get married, and then one person in the relationship has to go and study right after that. I'm a little bit confused here.
I'm all for that. Like live your life.
Do they mean
for-
arranged and then free will or what?
No,
No.
they're saying shouldn't they be spending time with each other
You gotta
instead
do
of
what you gotta do,
just going
though.
straight and getting like a master's or whatever it may be.
What should do? Sit together for 6 months straight?
I've heard it's the opposite though.
Like
I thought that usually in a marriage, like especially with the women, sometimes they're like traditionally they're like, okay, like you don't have to study anymore. You're now going to be at the house and
Right.
don't get a
Yeah.
job and just like stay. So I don't understand.
Well, I think American culture is different now, right? Like now
Yeah.
it's different because now everyone needs to like study.
I mean,
quote,
I
unquote.
kind of advocate that though. I think that you shouldn't like put your entire life on hold after you get married. Like sure, you should spend time with that person and really get to enjoy it for a while, but I think there's nothing wrong with going to go study right after getting married because you want to
You have
create
your
a
whole
future.
life to spend time with them.
Yeah, you want to create the best future that
but
you
you're
can.
only young once, and then what if the baby pops out?
Okay,
That's
well
your
then-
fault. Don't do that.
No, I think it's cool sometimes to see couples who, they know that something is there. They want to get married. They get married, and then they're like, okay, let's continue grinding it out, and we'll do it together.
Yeah.
And maybe
Right.
they're not saying like necessarily together, but like sometimes I do see that couples are in college at the same time, and
Right.
you finish this, I'll finish this. We get home together, and we spend time with each other. And
Or one's working, one's in school,
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Getting
If you-
married doesn't mean you put your
Yeah.
life on
If you have
hold.
too much free time, a baby might pop out. So
I don't think there should be expectations, period. But you should know what you're getting into, especially nowadays. Like it's really hard to know where everybody's life is, what track that they're going on, and you have to when you marry somebody, you have to be ready to sort of make some sacrifices, and then also expect that the other person understands what you want as well, and you have to come to this middle ground.
yeah.
I've listened to too many marriage couples. Okay. Yeah.
Do what you got to do is my answer.
Communicate.
Sure.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, thoughts on girls wanting to take off their hijabs. I don't like how I said thoughts and then okay, anyways.
Amber, only you
Oh
would
my
say that.
God,
I'm so
dude.
What's
sorry.
wrong with you?
Okay, there's honestly I've had I used to be the president
Hijab's
of
a
the Muslim Student
headscarf for anyone
Association,
that doesn't know.
and I had a few girls who were had a few different backgrounds of either having their parents force them to wear hijabs or they made it at a very young age. They made that decision, whatever. And they came to me like, I'm considering taking off my hijab. However, I'm scared about what people might think, what my family might think. I don't know if I'm not being true to myself and da-da-da. And I've always stayed consistent to one thing. wear it if you want to wear it, and if you don't want to wear it and you're wearing it, then you're not really getting the full purpose of it. If you feel like you're wearing it for other people, then you're not wearing it for yourself. That's when I feel like you need to confront yourself and be like, all right, maybe this isn't for me right now. I can stop and I can come back to it. But really, it's a personal choice between you and your inner self, and have that conversation, and don't consider anybody else's opinion. You, yourself, and God.
Yeah.
But like you yourself and your relationship with God and whatever you feel like.
Facts. Frost, when did you take off your hijab?
As soon as I started growing out my hair, I was like, yo,
The world needs to see this.
The world. JK. I've had a lot of people come up to me from the back sometimes and just be like,
What?
excuse me, miss. Excuse me, ma'am, where can I find this? I'm like, first of all, I don't work here. Second of all,
First of all,
hello.
I don't have to say the second of all, because when I say the first of all, they're like, oh.
because you have a beard.
Excuse me, ma'am. The women's section is over there. Okay, you go there then.
Was someone trying to like hit on you?
Oh,
Has someone ever like tried to hit on you? Like,
well, they
Just
can't hit on you
guys.
from the back.
just
though.
guys.
Well,
Straight guys.
obviously,
Straight guys,
What about like?
and I get extremely annoyed.
Okay.
straight guys hit on you.
Yeah, like
From
if
the
we're,
back?
if we're
They think you're a girl.
If we're out somewhere and if someone comes up and they're like, "Hey, dude, like awesome hair," and they start tugging on it,
Oh, okay.
I'm like, "Yo, you better back up." Like, who does that? What if I started taking my hand through your hair and be like, "Yo, what gel do you use, bro?" Who does that?
That's
Yeah.
rude. Nobody should touch anybody's hair.
That happened at New York when we were at that New Year's party, and I was like, okay, he's probably drunk. That's fine. And then he came up and he was kind of like trying to get to the front to see like whoever was performing, right?
But he's trying to
And
get
he
to
was
you.
no, he was like he was being a little aggressive, and then I was kind of getting annoyed, and then my brother was on the other side of him, and he looked at both of us, and then he got scared and he like backed up. He was like, okay, yeah, I guess they know each other. Because my brother, he equally got just as mad, because it was like, you know, usually you're at these places, you understand there's gonna be some pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
This dude's like shoving you like a lot, and we both just like had this like really like mean look and both at him, and then he's like, oh, okay. But anyways, no comment on the girls taking off a job. I think
Good, yeah. I don't
Amber
think you
covered
guys.
it good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more from here. You want to do it?
Which
Wanna
one?
Pick one more. Either one, whichever one you like
from our
better.
fan page.
Hold on, this one's a split, but I want to like read the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fine. It counts as one.
No, but like I think there's a third part. I don't know where the third part is.
I don't think there is.
No,
a
there's
part.
it's two.
Okay, let me try. If it's important to go to an Ivy League school, maybe discuss own experience job searching or your views on how a woman should treat her husband
Whoa.
if she makes more money. I
Hold
don't
up.
get
Yeah,
this.
these are two separate questions.
Okay.
What's the second question? Or your views on how a woman should treat her husband if she makes more money?
I think we've
than him?
talked about
Pick
this.
one.
I think we've talked about this, so let's
The
not.
second part we've already done.
Yeah. So if it's more important to go to an Ivy League school, no, this is not. Okay, I like this one. How long did it take for you guys to make the intro of Strange Flavors? You guys remember that? The intro of Strange
I
Flavors?
do remember
Just
that.
spazzed out.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good moment.
This comes from our a fan page. It's called Ronopono Slime. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Okay, never mind.
What?
They put up some screenshots from Urban Dictionary, and
Oh,
some of them looked a little bit
Some of them, mine were
a little bit
aggressive.
too, not even aggressive, a little bit too
accurate.
accurate.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
the
some of them
Neha
weren't
one?
accurate. Sods.
Yeah.
Wanting
It
to be a
sounds
secret
like
agent.
this person
son of-
might be out here doing good work for us and updating.
No, so I was like, all right, this is fake because
No,
the
I
Neha
mean,
one was too
you can
accurate.
update it yourself, though, Sean.
We're talking
No,
about
no, no.
Urban Dictionary, by the way. If you look up your name on Urban
If you
Dictionary,
update it,
says,
it adds on the bottom, and then people vote.
Yeah.
So that's been there for a while,
yeah.
and then they
Oh.
voted on
It's like
it. Yeah.
Yahoo Answers, where like
Yeah.
only the best answer goes to the top.
Yeah.
So it's been there for a long time.
So I
Oh
searched
my
it up.
gosh.
But isn't
and-
that crazy how
yeah.
accurate some of them were?
I'm concerned now.
Okay, so Ronopono Slime asks, how long did it take you guys to make the intro of Strange Flavors? And if you haven't seen the intro for whatever reason,
We planned
If
it for
you're
like 2-3 days.
watching
Sorry.
on YouTube or whatever,
Yeah.
in the intro we have a huge ice cream fight
in the bathtub.
in Amber's old apartment bathtub,
Roommate's bathtub.
roommate's bathtub,
Yeah,
which
it's-
made a
it
huge
sounds,
mess.
It sounds much worse.
It was
than
so
it
bad.
already
It
is.
was so bad.
We had
Sprinkles
in our ears and
Ice
for the next
syrup
few
down our
days,
shirt.
Ice cream.
strawberry syrup. But
But
it was
then
fun.
also a drone shot.
And
we
a
went-
drone shot.
We
Yeah.
went to
Sure.
Fed Hill to get a few drone shots.
Which I probably could have pulled off from online.
But it was cool to
But it was
actually
cool
go.
to do it.
We made the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what's good. But it was how long did it take? It took a day.
Yeah, it only
Yeah.
took a day.
Maybe
6,
less.
7 hours.
I mean, maybe less, right?
Like 6-7 hours.
It's
total.
pretty nice that what happened was I just
we
had
didn't even
this,
talk about the most important part.
what
We showered together.
we did.
Right
Shamir and I
after,
showered
yeah.
together, and
Yeah.
I've
In-
never seen anything
in
smaller
there, in there.
than the sprinkle that was
Dang.
between his legs.
What color was it?
It was
Okay, next topic.
Okay, so then I guess we're not answering this one. Why don't you hit on some of your topics?
Me?
Yeah, if
Okay.
you'd like to.
So did you guys see there was a huge uproar with T.I. and he went on a podcast and started talking about how he likes to basically making it sound like he takes care of his daughter, started off like that, and then went on to say that after every birthday, he'll let her open her presents, eat her cake, and then he puts a post-it note on her door and says, "Doctor tomorrow, like be ready." So he goes and takes his daughter to the doctor every year, and they do a quote-unquote hymen check. And then
For those that don't know, what is that?
a hymen is basically a group of cells in a woman's vagina to basically keep from bacteria from going up, and that's usually in infancy and childhood, and then as you get older it tends to open up more just because of things such as bike riding, sexual activity, horseback riding,
But most importantly,
day-to-day.
sexual activity.
No, it's not most
Well,
importantly
his
sexual.
motive
No,
for getting that.
why he's taking
The
her.
reason why he was going to check for her is because he said that he was going to do a virginity check, which is not what checking for a hymen is. It is no way a virginity check. And he said, and I quote, "Look, Doc, look, Doc, she don't ride no horses and she don't ride no bike. She don't play no sports, man. Just check that hymen, please, and give me back my results exponentially."
Exponentially?
Exponentially. He refers to the results legally being his daughter. His daughter's 18, by the way. So the problem that I have with this is, if he did this in his own...
She just goes straight to the problem that I have with this.
Yeah, because that's really the main thing that he said about it. He says, after she enjoys her gift, I put a sticky note on her door, gyno tomorrow, 9:30 a.m.
I think he was trying to, just to clear it up, he said it in an interview. The way he sounded like he was saying it was like, yo, like, this is how protective I am. He was like,
Yeah,
trying
like
to
a
sound like
fatherly...
relatable, cool, like that type of vibe.
Right, which I said initially. And the thing is, I feel like there's a lot of men who look up to T.I., and I've heard a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys who look up to T.I. because
There's a whole community.
there's a huge group of guys who specifically look at T.I. because they think he is some sort of symbol of class and elegance because he's from here and now he uses these big words and da-da-da and he's something, right? And so the problem is, one, science, let science do the talk. And
Whoa, Amber's doing research.
yeah, thank
Wow.
you. The hymen is no virginity indicator. 50% of sexually active teens do not have a disrupted hymen. The hymen is often very flexible. And that then goes on, had people talking about how people do like wedding night checks and all this type of stuff. They do. They like try to see if there's like blood on sheets after, and they will divorce a woman afterwards in some cultures if there is no blood on the sheets, which, mind you, does not mean that the girl is not a virgin. But anyways, the idea of him saying that these were his results refers to his daughter's body being his own. And one, who cares? Okay, get it. She's 18, so she's an adult. But the idea is, not only have you done this in your personal life, you've then now blasted this to the world, and not only embarrassing your daughter, but also making that a standard for other men to follow, as if that is okay to do. So, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see, that's my personal opinion as a girl, but to have, I think that's a little too, it's too much for a father to do that. I don't think that that's a father's place to do that. Now, what do you guys as mid-20-year-old men think about this?
I think it all depends on how she feels about it. And I don't know if it's necessarily fair to comment on what that family... what their beliefs are or whatever, values, but as an outsider, all I can say is that because T.I. is a public figure and I've heard his music and the things that he raps about, he has done to other women what he doesn't want done to his daughter.
Right.
And also, I think
Maybe that's why.
this, sure, but I mean,
Then that's being
You
very
can't-
hypocritical.
yeah, that's hypocritical. Maybe he's trying to look out for her because he's done that or whatever. But you know, good for you for finding the research on the science and everything. That adds value to the argument. But at the end of the day, what I think it comes down to is trust. And this goes for any community. I think it especially stands in our community and any sort of minority communities where there are like these sort of untalked about things. There's a lot of hypocrisy and all of that where, you know, if I think about our community and the types of things that kids get checked on by their parents, and that same trust that they break because they feel like there is too much judgment on them and there's too much of a bearing on them, those are the kids that end up sometimes doing worse things than the kids that have no sort of you know, shelter with their parents or anything.
sure.
So again, I think it comes down to trust, and you know, I don't know what the trust is like between him and his daughter, but I
The
would
daughter
say
did have a reaction of some sort.
okay. Do you know what it was?
Yes. So she started liking a series of tweets that called her father's actions disgusting, possessive, and controlling, and she unfollowed him on Twitter along with his wife Tiny and the daughter's
Dang.
son.
She's
And she
leaving the
also
fam.
then tweeted and said, "I love y'all," tweeting it to her fans who were supporting her in that moment.
Dang.
Yeah, see, now she's made it public because he made it public, and now the family. You should never talk about the family.
I feel like that's
Publicly.
like, think about your daughter, okay? Like, that's supposed to be, speaking even from my relationship with my father, that's a very like personal relationship to have. Like a father-daughter relationship, like there's a lot of love right there, and to then have a father blast that to the world, your information like that, is extremely not only embarrassing, but now you don't think that that's going to do the opposite and make her a quote-unquote hot commodity to all these people who would want to get her there now?
What do you
Like,
think?
That's weird as hell, bro. I don't know why you're doing that. You need to stop, make some music, do something better with your life, bro. I don't know what you're doing. Stop putting that on there, you know. There's other ways to be protective, better ways to be protective. I don't know.
and keep it private if
Keep
you
it
want to do
private.
it.
Yeah, if you do it, keep it private, you know.
Don't blast your daughter's
Well,
hymen
she's
results.
blasting him too now.
No, but
So,
don't blast
sorry.
your daughter's hymen results to
that's-
the world.
that's kinda weird.
weird.
Yeah. Do you think she's gonna blast it if it breaks, the hymen? Like, oh, it's broken. Or I don't know. That's what you say, right?
Yeah,
it breaks.
yeah, it breaks.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, I'm not weird, dude.
Yeah.
We need some cleansing after that talk. Some God talk, maybe, Amber.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about Kanye's God album? God album. His how would you describe it, guys?
His religious
Awakening.
awakening, sure, if that's what we're gonna call it. So you're asking us what our take on it?
Yeah, I want to know. Like, you guys are fans of Kanye. We've talked about Kanye many times on the show before. He came out with this album that is very God woke. What do you guys think about it?
As far as the album, I like maybe 2 songs on it. The rest of it I do not like for music taste. I'm happy for Kanye if he's finding God. I saw him at the prison recently, and he's, you know, I guess doing the Lord's work, quote unquote. But he's always been this guy, actually. From the very beginning, he's always been into the gospel, and he's been, you know, one of his first breakout songs was Jesus Walks, and
Right.
he's always kind of been around that energy.
sure.
So it's nothing new, and you know, it's cool if that's who he is. Then I don't understand why we expect so much from people that already give us a lot. You know, like we have someone like Frank Ocean that barely gives us anything,
Yeah.
and we're happy with it. But then we have someone like Kanye who gives us so much, and when he doesn't give us
What we want.
the same results or
Yeah.
better results every time, we get mad. And think about it, throughout the years, everybody's opinions on Kanye changes left and right, and they're like, oh, I
yeah.
hate him now, I love him now, I hate him now, I love him now, oh, he was always this guy, oh, he was confused. He's just a man experiencing things, and I think that he is a true artist and a true genius, and he doesn't need to prove that to anybody. And we are not like, we're nobody to be telling Kanye who he is or is not, because Kanye will be Kanye.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
I've seen like so many media things, and they'll be like, "Oh, Kanye said this, and Kanye said this," and like everyone's like clowning him on Twitter. And then I actually watched the interview, and it goes nothing like
Right.
the freaking thing that they
The headline.
title. And I'm like, like he's saying valuable things, you know. But I just want to see like a Muslim version. That'd be pretty cool. like of this.
Oh, that would be
album.
really cool.
If Lupe would step his game up, he was doing that at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's under the same label.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
on Good Music, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, no, because Muhammad Ali was that for us.
Yeah.
He was big time that for us, and
Facts.
there hasn't been anybody on a Christian or Jewish level in a celebrity form that has done that much publicly for their religion.
Yeah.
As Muhammad Ali, everybody knows that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody knows that he made this sacrifice. That he's like, I'm not gonna fight until you call me by the name that I have chosen for myself. You're not allowed to call me Cassius Clay anymore. I'm Muhammad Ali, and I fight for God, and God is the greatest, and this and that. And like everything he did after that was for God.
Yeah. So let's hear a Muslim version, Kanye or somebody else.
Any other topics that you want to hit?
I have a story for you guys.
A talking story?
A talk.
Oh, this is your story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Amber dating life. Let's go.
So, as I've mentioned on the podcast before, I haven't been super interested in dating, but somebody did slightly, they slid into my DMs. We talk for a little bit.
Okay.
So, this is like a fairly recent situation. So basically, they asked me the time of day, and I let them know what time it was. Okay? And they very quickly showed me their true colors recently, and it was because of this podcast. And that's why I feel like I should tell you guys on this podcast.
It was because of the podcast that
They showed their true colors.
Okay, go on.
So
A little confused.
a few months ago, we had a question that said, on a dating profile, what is the cringiest thing that you what's the cringiest thing that you would see on a dating profile that you wouldn't want to see, right?
Yeah.
And I said a man in uniform. And then I went on to say but I don't want to see somebody in a Verizon or Comcast uniform, right? And I didn't, and I said that specifically to their profile picture.
Yeah.
So this person came at me like, "Oh, you said you would never be with a man who works at Verizon."
Is that how they talk, by the way?
Yeah.
Yikes.
You said you would never be with a man who works at Verizon, and I was like, first of all, this is all way too quick. But what is your question? Like, what do you have a problem with what I said? Because I have no problem with what I said. He's like, you are coming at an entire occupation. I said, no, sir, I did not. I said it is cringy to have it in a dating profile picture. If you can work at Comcast, Verizon, freaking Sprint, AT&T, I don't care where you work at. But if you're going to wear the uniform in your dating profile picture, I'm going to find it cringy. Do you have a problem with that? And so they eventually admitted that it was a friend who had listened to the podcast and had then dumbed it down to, hey, well, she said that she'd never be with a dude who works at Verizon or Comcast.
So he works at Verizon?
He works at one of the cell phone stores.
Which one? So I don't subscribe to it.
Anyways. But yeah, I mean, it was a very quick realization, and I was like, okay, I think we're done here.
So we got to watch what we say.
Amber,
No.
he was just clarifying because there's people that have I know a lot of people that on their Facebook profiles and stuff, they're dressed up in their scrubs or something because that's where they are. Or for example, what if, you decide that you want to post a picture with yourself performing on stage.
Right, I would never do that as my profile picture.
Why?
Because here's the thing.
What's wrong with that? That's who
As
you
a
are.
dating profile picture, I find it cringy. Now, here's the problem that I had with it more than anything. They had a problem with me expressing my opinions and how I said it.
Okay.
And I have a problem with you telling me how to express my opinions on a show that I'm supposed to express my opinions.
Okay, let me go in his shoes for a second.
Okay.
What if he had happened to have a podcast too, right?
Okay.
And I told you, hey, I listened to his podcast, and he actually said that he finds it extremely cringy when girls go work out and post their pictures on social media.
Sure. Now, what I would first of all, I'd go listen to what he said and not go and come at him first.
Okay. Fair.
If what he said sounded like a direct attack on me, I would approach him with, "Hey, on the podcast, you said da 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 da."
And I do that.
And I do that. Is that something that bothers you?
Yeah.
Not, you are disrespectful for doing this. You don't even care about da 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 da. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, I didn't know you when that podcast came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know of your existence."
Also, prove me wrong that it's not cringy.
And also, I was like, no matter what your occupation is, I find that cringy, and that is my opinion. First of all, I'm not on dating apps. But it was a question and I answered it. You should have went and did your research before you came at me and been like, oh yeah, you said that my occupation's cringy. No.
Facts.
No. I said that you wearing your uniform for that occupation.
Well, why did he want to go
cringy.
out if that was he like just like waiting to confront you? Like what was
No,
it a trap?
No, I think somebody had let him know that day, and he just hit
it was
my.
on his mind.
He hit my text like with paragraphs, like,
Jeez.
and
Yeah,
I
that's
was
weird.
like, oh no.
Also, it is cringy, all right? Wearing a Verizon, like...
That's
Bro,
cringy.
what are you going to change, a router? Like, why is that
Thank
cool?
you.
Why would you put that on a frick... Like, Scrubs, you're saving people, you know? Artists, you're performing, you're helping people, you're, you know, making people happy.
You change my router.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Change router?
You know what?
Building cell phone
No,
company?
I'm
Like,
on his side. You
No.
know what? For a long time, when I was a
You're a
waiter.
Verizon serious?
No, when I was a waiter, my Bitmoji was wearing an apron for like 2
That's
years.
fabulous.
fire.
That's fabulous.
That's
That's not a dating profile picture.
Well, how do you know I don't use Bitmoji as my dating?
I don't know. You've told us already you don't have a dating profile. So first of all,
Well,
that.
No, okay, see... Everything is fire except for Verizon sales rep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like for
Why?
me,
No,
What if
just
they're really
kidding.
proud
But,
of
like,
that?
that's fine. Be proud of it.
Be
Working
proud of
at
it.
Apple or something
But
like.
I then will not be attracted to it, and that's my opinion. If
Yeah.
you have such a problem with me expressing my opinion, see, the thing is, there's a deeper issue here. I felt like he had a problem with the fact that and he made this a point, that I'm going to continue to express my opinions regardless of if they interfere or do not align with his beliefs. And I said, oh, skirt, I'm going to continue to give my opinions.
Yeah.
That's just like, do you know me?
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
know me? Like, that's who I am, and I think you showed your colors very quickly because you should know
No,
that.
I agree with you that he's like, that's weird that he's like that offended and then he's like,
Yeah, and listen to the podcast. Come on.
Thank
That's
you.
the worst thing here.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to the podcast.
If you're a guy and
He
you're trying to
doesn't-
have my DMs and you don't listen to the podcast, skirt.
Yeah.
Also, I hope that everybody knows that when we talk on here, we're not professionals. We're not.
Oh, I'm
you
a
know,
professional. It's like,
We and neither, even if you are a professional, if you're on a news site, if you're on the radio, whatever, you don't know everything. We don't know everything. We are given these topics to discuss through our experiences, and sometimes we are thinking like on the top of our heads, and a lot of this is freestyled, and so what comes to our head is that, and we're not always like, oh, we should take every single person into consideration, and so you shouldn't take every single thing that we say to heart. And that being said, we do have this responsibility that we try to be, you know, as thoughtful with these questions and think about everybody. But if we do say things, you know, like maybe consider it, why we might be saying it, but also like don't take everything like super
Literal.
literal. Yeah.
But also,
these are just opinions.
We're here on a podcast. There's 3 of us. We're talking about topics, and we have to give our opinion.
And we do like have back and forth about like, yo, what if he was thinking this? What if he was thinking?
Right.
And that's what I just did. I was like, what if he's thinking that? What if he had done that to you?
But
And
you
you
agree-
explained a better way.
you agreed that like Verizon sales rep, like that's not cool. Like,
I never said that. I never said that.
okay, AT&T.
I said
or
if he
T-Mobile.
finds it cool, then good for him.
Yeah.
But if you see that and you're like, I don't really want to date someone who works for Verizon.
No, I don't. No. That's the thing. There's a misconception.
Oh, you don't want to date someone who wears the Verizon uniform as their profile picture.
I would not swipe. The question and the way that I answered was, if I saw it
It's
on,
cringy.
I wouldn't have swiped right on it. That's what I'm saying.
What if it's a joke?
Cool.
Like, what
I
if
didn't
someone
get the
puts on a
joke.
hot dog costume?
I didn't
like,
get
for
the joke.
Halloween?
I didn't get the joke then. Okay.
Okay.
And that was just that. But
That's fair.
But don't say that like they're making it seem like it's the fact that was my opinion.
Like you're
that was
wrong for
having that opinion.
For judging them for
Yeah.
having that.
And then on top
Which
of
you are
that, they
judging
said
them.
that they're saying that in the future
Yeah.
that you will not care about what I am and what I represent, and that you're gonna go on to say whatever you want on this podcast. And I said, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, I will.
You pulled a Kim.
yeah. I'm just
When-
a
when
T-Mobile fanboy. Just screw Verizon.
T-Mobile sucks.
It does.
switched
suck.
over to T-Mobile
We're
and-
all on T-Mobile right now,
And
right?
I don't get as good signal as I did when we were on AT&T.
For
but
sure.
My
Just
brother
get-
just wanted to switch over for T-Mobile Tuesday.
Yeah. Free movie tickets.
And they're not even the T-Mobile Tuesday is very mediocre.
See, if you wear a T-Mobile, shirt, then that's a different story.
Yeah, that magenta's
Yeah.
way cooler
Yeah.
than the
Verizon.
What is Verizon's color?
Black and
Red.
red. Black
You
and
don't
red.
know?
Oh, red.
Red.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Well,
Okay. That's that.
well, I hope that the guy, if he's listening to this podcast,
It clears things up. You can re-slide into Amber's DMs.
Don't slide in my DMs. I'm upset.
just know that when you post
This
this
was last night.
picture, really,
Yeah, I'm upset.
Oh,
just
wow.
just know that when you post a picture of you wearing the Verizon suit, that you have to
Oh wait,
you have to expect people to feel a certain way, and if you're not getting as many swipes, that might be why. So
Can I give you guys another little piece of this? This man doesn't even wear a uniform to work. This man does
so
not.
he was just showing that he has a job.
So he doesn't even like the uniform himself.
He doesn't have a uniform to wear. I said that out of like ignorance that Ryzen people might wear uniforms. Okay, this man wears a suit, like a suit to work every day.
Wait, so what was he wearing?
He's changing routers in a suit?
Oh wait, he doesn't even have a profile, right?
No.
So then why is he even concerned?
I don't know.
Wait, and he's changing routers in a suit?
Yes, but he's not going to people's houses.
No,
he
he's
works
not
in the
gonna-
stores.
yeah, he works-
like the cell phones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So why is he wearing this? Bruh,
bruh.
that's too much.
Yeah.
OD.
I think
Okay,
that's
Team
where we
Amber.
end
Team
it.
Amber for today.
Yeah, he's definitely insecure.
Yeah.
And last thing is for merch. Look out for the next few days or soon. We will be dropping our recent merch that is the Identity series for half off.
Yeah, please
so
buy
that's
it.
going to be a cyber or what's it called? Black Friday,
Black
Cyber
Friday,
Monday type
Cyber
of
Monday
thing.
sale.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
I don't think we emphasize this enough, but please buy it. It helps us out very little, but and we also
It
appreciate
helps
it.
us out very little.
No, buy it because you like it, not
Buy
because
it-
you want to help us.
If you want to help us, that's also another way. And also, if you like it, I mean,
And
people have bought it because
If you want to listen to in the next episode SHAH-AMEER's dating stories, go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. Rate it, give it a thumbs up or whatever.
It's
going to
be a full long episode.
I'm
because a
so
lot has
excited
happened.
because the next episode
No,
I want to hear.
I'm
these
not going to
stories.
release a lot of details, but
Whatever you can, we're here.
But stay tuned to see if we make it to the 100th episode by the end of this year or not. We are on episode number 94. So we got 6 more to go in just a few weeks. Let's see if we do it or not. Probably not. Just kidding.
No, we
No,
can,
stay tuned to see.
we can do it.
We could do it.
I
Let's
think we
see.
should. I think we
Let's see.
should start 2020 off with 2020 off with 100.
Yeah.
Hundo.
100.
Agreed. Hey, thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Strange Flavors. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
A little less stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.